have you noticed that time is speeding up? It seems like...
Or you feel it. You feel like it is.
Yeah,
Like,
you feel like it is, right. All the time. Where did that go? When was that?
What was I just doing?
Was that last week? Right. Was that 3 weeks ago? It's really interesting how that's been happening, and it seems like a lot of people feel it. And so we have expert Reshma Shah today with us, and she is a healer. She facilitates healing, and she works like with quantum healing, and she talks about a lot of multidimensional things. So Reshma,
which is Reshma, welcome.
Yes.
I have so many questions because you work with people to help them manage being exposed to multi dimensions and how to benefit from it. So I just have a whole host of questions. But before we go, why don't you tell us a little bit about what is healing? What does that mean? As a facilitator, what are you doing?
I believe everybody is a healer within, especially right now, because our times are shifting into Aquarius age, and everybody's awakening with their own internal truth, standing in their own sovereignty, and everybody is so powerful. It's just that we have been conditioned to believe lesser selves of ourselves. Is not the truth that we do not have the capacity to heal ourselves and our environment, but the chain reaction starts with in a way that you work on yourself, you uplift yourself, you awaken yourself, you ascend yourself, and that is going to create the ripple effect around you. So that is what I do. I bring people to awaken to their own power and strength, and uplift them to recognize that, oh no, I'm not this, but I'm this, like much bigger.
Right, much bigger.
Much
limitless.
That's
yes.
what I do.
Beautiful.
Well, should we talk about why do we feel like time is speeding up right now? First of all.
Yeah, the reason why time is speeding up is because humanity has been conditioned to be complacent in its own conformity and comfort zone. They have been trained to believe less about themselves for eons together, especially last 5, 6, 7 decades, when the regressive aliens came into our sphere of existence in such a way that it trained us to believe less and less and less about us. Everybody knows about pineal gland calcification due to fluoride, the amalgams in the mercury in our teeth, all this thing is...
I don't know if everybody knows about it, but we can talk about it.
I think that, there's certainly been, and I hate to use this word because in our world it means other things, but there has certainly been a veil that has separated people from who they really are. Right? I mean, and to me, the internet is one. Television was one when it came in, right? Social media certainly does it. And it's just...
What I personally have observed and what is experienced is, of course, the media has diverted us off our truth.
Yes.
Why? Because it was serving their purpose of whatever they were doing. However, humanity itself, our DNA is so strong that we have 12 strands and higher dimensions, right? So 12 strands or higher strands of our DNA strands, they are very awake. Like we could teleport. We were so powerful. But because of the conditioning of our mindset, our consciousness, and holding us down into whatever we have been accustomed to now, only 2 strands were awakened. So people were staying in that, we see the infinite sign going diagonal.
Yeah, right.
Infinity is basically a vertical strand. So what you see, those 2 loops on 2 sides, it's basically supposed to be vertical strand. The reason why it has been twisted into that, like horizontal, is because they want us to stay in the same dimension and keep on going. Like, how we call it like hamster wheel?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Keep on going back and forth. Yeah.
And if you have that strand vertical, then you will go ascend. That's how our DNA ascends.
Well, and I just have to say, you're listening to Balance Your Life podcast, our evolving consciousness, and that's what we want to talk about. How is it evolving? And
so right now we are evolving from that horizontal strand to vertical strand. We are hiring our consciousness, consciously speaking, choosing to stand in our sovereignty and bringing our power back, standing up in our own awareness. That's what is going on consciously. And that's the reason why you feel, answering your question, why the time is speeding so fast.
Okay.
And you feel like, if you notice, it's only February and everybody feel it has been already a year past, you know.
Yeah,
like you feel
right.
like it's passing so fast.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
It's because our DNA is changing in the
Our DNA is ascending.
Okay.
Our consciousness is ascending. We are harnessing our power back.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's soul fractals are coming back. The Aquarius ages come in. We were shifted from Pisces to Aquarius. Aquarius is all about standing in our truth. Aquarius is all about, like, the gallbladder meridian, right? The gallbladder itself stands for nurturing, which is motherly feeling. And the meridians of that at least has 44 points. And that entire aspect is governed by the Aquarius age. What does that mean? That means is that entire world and the universe is going to start standing up in their highest truth. So all the conditioning, as we spoke before, whatever we have experienced is going to falsify and fall apart, and people will start standing up in their own higher truth. Like, what is the higher truth? Before, we have been told to be I, only focus on I and me and myself. But the new earth and the new message is what is coming is with Aquarius age is the community. Like, you are doing this podcast for the community.
Right.
You're doing this podcast so that people will be awakened, and you're doing the service. So it's a matter of servitude. What you bring to the world, that is the new age. That is the Aquarius age. That's how our DNA is ascending.
And when are we moving into that age?
We've already moved into
we're in it. Okay.
in the process, right? So
Okay.
so so everybody who must be having digestive issues right now is because our thought processes are changing. If people have not heard it, our first brain is the gut feeling, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that the digestive system, gallbladder and liver, these are the two main meridians, which is vibrating very high now. So the liver holds for anger, frustration, and all the old programs.
Yeah.
And gallbladder stands mainly for nurturing, and the meridian stands for the truth. So we are all awakening, so people feel like as if something is going on with my digestion, or I'm not feeling too good.
Felt that? Yeah.
It's all mainly because we are shedding our old programs,
Okay.
and we are moving into the higher vibration.
Oh, well, the high vibration and the new energy that is coming in, right, is it's one of compassion. And I was just talking to somebody about this, but it is compassion. That's the difference. That's how the world is going to change also collectively. But as people are moving into this change within themselves, it is a place where everyone can be different and be respectful in their community. So the community doesn't necessarily mean that people are going to be more uniform. People are all going to be individual, but more respectful, right?
Respectful and considerate.
Considerate, yeah.
Like, what we have lived so far is we have always lived like, as I said, I, me, myself, my organization, my this.
Right.
But now, if anything which is not having community interest, that will fall apart.
Yes.
That's the cosmic law.
And it's happening.
Yeah.
It's already happening. We're seeing it.
Yeah.
We're seeing it around the world. So that's why there was, and I'd love to know your thoughts on this, but everybody was afraid that World War III is coming and it's the end, and it's not, because the consciousness doesn't want war anymore.
It does not.
Right.
We look at it, and I think that we're going to be looking back in a few years of us coming out of a barbaric age, right? This is a major time where even a few years ago, we'll look at in 20 years if that was the barbaric age on this planet, because we don't feel that way, right?
Right. What was happening till now is say since 1950s or so, people have started to awaken. The star seeds have started coming into planet more actively, and it was difficult for them to bring out the message for whatever the awakening is coming up. So last half a century, plus now,
Yes.
70 years at least, we all are coming to awareness of acceptance of the shift that is occurring right now. People were resisting
Yes.
and also suppressed a lot by a lot of different authorities of different dimensions, right? But now, because that is shifted, people have shifted, and now people are like
Yes.
full till here, and they didn't know how, they didn't have a breather. So they say, like, necessity is the mother of all inventions.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
So because they brought it to that frustrated time, now it's the revolution. So you will notice that younger children are very awake.
Yes.
The younger
Yes.
children are very, we call them smart, but they are basically very awake. Why?
Right.
Because their consciousness is very open. Their three strands are open. Like, they are not in bifecta means not in duality. They believe in trifecta. It means in unconditional love, compassion. That is their principle. So younger children have started coming to families. Usually star seeds are planted into the places where it is really required. Their light is required. And those families gets uplifted.
That's interesting.
Because the parents have to condition themselves to, they will do anything for their children. To raise
course,
their
I know.
parents will do anything for their children. So the children will ask, this is what is to be done. Have you seen those videos when the children are saying that don't eat meat, don't kill animals, or I'm playing a drum because it is being used as a frequency barometer for others to learn how to vibrate at a higher frequency, and all these things are coming up
Yes.
right now. It's because children are asking and governing us that let's turn around and look at how we are and move back to evolution and not devolution where we were guided.
So I'm going to ask your thoughts on this because my understanding or where I see it, and I don't know if this is right or wrong, but I'd love to know your thoughts, is that the kids are coming in and the innate body that's coming in with the kids are bringing forward the memories of their past lives and experiences, but the good not taking the negative. So the knowing so that they can remember why they're here and share these messages from the start. I don't know.
That's a very good point. What's happening with, see, there are souls that come from out of the planet,
Yes.
from different star systems, right?
Okay.
The star nations have governed, they have their soul contracts that they have come to this planet.
But they do have past lives on other planets.
Also,
Right, that's what I mean. They're
Yes.
bringing that
yes, and
knowing.
those sentient souls from Earth as humans who are awakened also, they have a lot of memories about past life of whatever has happened. So answering your question about how children are coming with past life memories awakened is because that all is shifting us and ushering to tell us the actual and the highest truth. Because not everything what we have been shared about is the highest truth.
Right.
So the children are coming to bring that awakening. The children are coming to bring us with their truth of the reason why this and this has happened or happening.
Yes, I didn't mean that the kids were coming through knowing their what I'm saying is souls are ancient.
Yeah.
Souls are ancient whether they were here or on other planets. And we go into this life and we look back at our past lives but the young ones coming through are such brilliance that what they're bringing in is their knowledge of good, the remembering of good. Not I was a soldier, but just the understanding and the remembering of coming into this planet with that brilliance.
That is okay. In layman's language, that is called the 0 point.
Yes.
Why that is a 0 point is because it is showing us not to get stuck up with our past,
right?
Not to worry about our future, and we be in the present moment, which is a 0 point. So the young ones, as you said, the awakened, the young ones, they are coming and they are reminding us of our strength and our power. That's why we're harnessing with what they are harnessing us about, reminding us about our strength. Because as I said, we've been forgotten. We are made to forget.
Right.
For a lot of external faculties also, right? That is what is happening.
Yes.
Okay, and do you want to talk about the multidimensional part of all this?
Oh, that would be very interesting if now, since people are awakening, the multidimensional part of us comes from where? Awareness. We've always been multidimensional, but the way how we are awake now is our thoughts create our reality. Like in 1 minute, how many thoughts do we get, right?
Right.
So those different thoughts, what we experience are, technically speaking, those different dimensions we are experiencing. Like in 1 minute you will be really very happy and joyous, and after 5-10 minutes another thought comes in and you go down. That is, you're depleting your vibrational frequency. So as you raise above, your vibrational frequency rises, and it goes hand in hand. So that's how you higher your dimensions. And when you topple down with your vibrations, you topple down to your lower densities. So that is when you will recognize that in one fraction, I can traverse through so many different dimensions simultaneously. That's why it's called multidimensionals.
How do you, so you work with people, right? You work with, how do you help people become more aware that this is going on? That's the first question, right? And then how do you help someone benefit from that?
How I work is, first of all, I show them where they stand.
Okay.
Like where the person is in
Okay.
physicality through their mind, body, spirit. But now the awareness is also that we also have auric fields, esoteric fields, etheric fields, astral fields, and the subfields in between. So that's where what I do is I bring them to their awareness that it's not only their mind, body, spirit working, but there are also fields around us they are working. So sometimes people come with, like, I have so and so health issues, right? So when they say that I have so and so health issues, health is directly and proportionally depending on your thought pattern. When you have happy thoughts, when you have higher vibrational thoughts, your health will be always positive. It will not have any kind of issues when it comes to health when you have higher thoughts, higher vibrations. When you are sad for a long time, and there is, say they call it depression, I don't call it depression, I call it like it's the fluctuation of vibration of every individual, right? When they go through that, that is the time when they lose the alignment of their own true soul system. When they lose the alignment with their own self, that is when they lose their cognition power of choosing, selecting consciously what they want to create in their life. And when they lose their cognition ability to choose what they want to create in their life, that's when they topple. So I bring people to their awareness of how to first recognize what is my pattern. Once they recognize what is their pattern, then they recognize how they could pivot from negative to positive mindset. Then I show them what is the betterment for because every individual is different, right?
Sure.
So you show them what dimension they are hanging into. You show them how their multidimensionality is harnessing power or depleting power. And once I show them how to work through that, then they move into the higher vibration. And I do not have to do it as I believe that because everybody has a capacity to be. Once an individual soul chooses to stand in his or her sovereignty and owns up his own strength and power through mind, body, spirit, and the other fields, then there is nothing that can stop them. So I train them of how to recognize and then adhere that in their daily life. That is what I do. And in that, there are people who come with mental illness or physical illness. It's all pertaining to our thought pattern, our food habits, and our physical environment. like even the land where we live, right? Because we all are soul. So the land has the soul signature.
I was going to ask you about that.
Right?
Yeah.
The land has the soul signature. So sometimes you feel like, usually when we go on vacation, we come back very refreshed, right? Because you have tapped into the frequency of the foreign land.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have to be only out of the country.
Mm-hmm.
If you even go and visit another state,
Mm-hmm.
or even another area, get out of your own everyday routine area, and say we are in the state of New Jersey right now, but if you go to the north of Jersey or if you go to the south of Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
every demographic is different, right? So your body will be in coherence with whatever is the environment, and it will pick up the vibrational frequency from the land memory. And when the soul signature of the land memory will teach you what is and how is it going into, that is when you will see that your body shifts, your consciousness shifts. And that is how people recognize. Like sometimes some people come that I have started a new business somewhere and it is just not picking up,
Right.
or whatever.
Right.
That is because their soul signature is not in coherence with
With it.
that land
And
signature.
how do you know if it is or not?
Usually they come after the experience step.
Mm-hmm.
So they usually come like, Reshma, it's been 6 months or nothing is happening, or
No, I'm saying, how would you know before you picked it as a person, like going and opening a new business somewhere, or going, like, how would you feel that or know?
your
Not.
heart will speak to you.
Mm-hmm.
Your heart has a vibrational code of coherence with wherever you go.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you feel like, right, I feel so good about this. And sometimes you feel like I don't get a good feeling about it, right? So that is the first sign.
Yeah.
Second sign is, usually when you go, you do the land clearing, the space clearing,
Yes.
right? Not because there is anything negative. That is what I would love to speak about.
Sure.
And it's, once you clear the space clearing, you're just clearing the old contracts of whoever was occupying that space.
Okay.
And with connection with that, people always feel like, oh, this is a negative energy, this is a dark side, this is this. I personally believe dark plays important role as significant as that of light. What is the role of darkness? The role of darkness is to trigger us, to activate us, make us uncomfortable, so that we will get out of our comfort zone and we will do something for our betterment. Right?
Okay.
Most of the time, unless people are, they go and sit and pray, Dad, Father God, Mother God, please help me with this, what's going on with this, right? That is a new age dimension right now, that you sit in prayers with gratitude, with whatever we have, and then we ascend. So the darkness plays the role to usher us towards the frequency of higher vibration by making us uncomfortable in our old dimensions.
Mm.
So darkness is, in my experience, has been such that darkness is not something which is bad, they label it, or harmful. If you really know, because we all have our light and our shadow within us, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So the only time you will be in alignment with yourself is when you coincide, accept, and get in alignment with your light and shadows within yourself. Once you do that, then you will recognize that you are in sync with what you are moving forward.
Hi, Deb and I just wanted to take a minute and say thank you for watching. We hope that you're enjoying our guests, and we wanted to say please remember to subscribe below, like us, send us a comment.
And let us know if there's anybody you want to hear from, and we'll try to get them on.
Moving forward.
And we also can create, as you said, we create, right? We create our lives, right? And if it wasn't for the darkness, we would not look to create any different. We would be stagnant and we wouldn't grow.
Absolutely.
Right.
Tell me, which child was born with a flashlight in the mother's womb?
That's
Right?
right.
A mother's womb does not have light there.
That's right.
It is placenta.
Mm-hmm.
Our womb is dark, and there's nobody born here without a mother.
Right.
Correct?
Yeah.
So darkness is the place where the formation is created. How is it created? It depends on the resistance or receiving factor of your own programs. What you choose, how you create is your own discretion, right? Yes, the genetic programs matter, the history program matters, all these different program matters, as I said, the land memory matters. But overall, there is a point where it comes to is how is your resonance with any kind of programming given to you, offered to you, or working through you, whether you accept it or you don't accept it. That's why I always tell my students, if any negative thought comes to you, first of all, you recognize that this is in your alignment or it's out of your alignment. And if it comes to you, you just instantly say, these are not my programs and I do not consent. So if anything that is not in your alignment, if not of your liking, and if it is not something that serves you, first check, how is it helping you? Why is it so that you have brought yourself in that creation where it is not in alignment with what you want, right? If
Yes.
could be there is something you are learning out of it, yeah. And second thing is, you ask that, and once you ask that, if you feel that there is no resonance, then you say, these are not my programs and I do not consent. Then they cannot enter your space.
Yes.
Then they cannot enter your space. And then you can say that any energy that is trying to invade in your space without your consent, your sphere of existence, that includes your home, your land, your family, your everybody, right? First you say that I do not consent and you cannot come. And then if there is any nefarious one, okay, then you ask, do you want to go to light? Because you could be such a bright light that it comes to you because of it wants to go to light. And maybe they want to go to light. So you just send them to God's light. So they could be coming for liberation. That's what I mean by people are very, like they reject every aspect of it. But unless and until we do not, spirit and soul and ourself, unless we don't ourself accept completely, there will be no growth. So any persisting energy that keeps coming to you is only coming to you again and again because there is something you got to learn.
Well, it's true with everything, right?
Right, everything. So unless you do not accept it first, then you recognize what is it that it is asking to do or asking from you. Once you recognize what is it asking from you, then you can move forward. Whether it stays with you, teaches you the lesson, and then you say, thank you so much. My job is done with you, your job is done with you, you got to go. Like as simple as, sometimes women say that I have so many ants in my kitchen. The ants are coming there because they are finding light in your kitchen. So if you say that, yes, I have found it, I have understood what the reason is, and if you can clear it, you can just tell that even insect or animal or bird or energy field, that your job is over here and you can go. Like there are elementals that comes, right? Because we have plants in our home, right? Or the backyard you have. The elementals keep coming. But there are times when you do not want them around and you have to say no. And once you say no, they will abide. But that power you have to harness within yourself first to recognize how much you want to go in that area. So once you recognize all these patterns of how you bring yourself to the higher timeline, then it will help you to shed off the old programs which are not working for you anymore. And younger children are very in sync with that. Younger children are very in sync with that, and it's that you recognize that we are either repulsive or we are receptive with the younger children.
Yes.
And even the youth nowadays.
Yes.
Like, why do you think so much of substance abuse has been prevalent in younger one? Is not because of any negative reason. The only reason is they are not accepted with their ascended selves in our programs of old paradigm, and they don't know how to revolt because they love their parents, they love their schooling, they love their society, but because their awakened selves are not accepted, that is the time when they start go reclusively inside, and then they start with substance abuse. Means they find refuge in some other place besides their comfort zone. That is what is
Reshma,
happening.
wow,
Mhm.
just
Thank you.
lovely
Yeah.
messages.
Thank
you.
Thank
Thank
Yeah.
you. I just beautifully said in everything you just gave us. What do you see for the next step with humanity? I gather you're positive about what's happening. What
Yeah.
what are where do you see or
Thank you. In that, if I may add one thing,
sure?
as we were talking about younger children, right?
Right.
With the younger children and the youth, what I have experienced and what I have come across is, first of all, there is a lot of labeling
Mhm.
for them, that you are this or you are that, or you are ADHD or you're autistic or you're OCD or whatever. I call them misspelled. And people are not going to like me for that, but I call them misspelled alphabets. Why? Because there is nothing in this world that cannot be cured.
Right.
So if there
That's
is
true.
a symptom,
Mm-hmm.
if there is a symptom, then address the cure, not the symptom.
Sure.
Yes.
Like autistic children are way beyond our understanding of how awakened they are, because
Yes.
they
Mhm.
connect with the outer realms
Mhm.
and the outer world, and they are so brilliantly,
Yes.
Mhm.
brilliantly awake and in sync with the cosmic truth that our normal standard of devolution, where we are with human species, we cannot really understand. So my understanding is that yes, some kind of help is required, but that is at a very young. That's the reason why I work with the youngest first, is because if you start dumping them with so much of heavy metals and so much
Yeah, right. There's
toxicity,
no coming back. Yeah.
there is no
There's
coming
coming
back. And what happens with the parents, Deb? The parents start feeling guilty that, oh my goodness, I did not born a healthy child. So it's the
Yeah.
chicken and egg
Yes,
cycle,
vicious.
where they are just drowning and drowning.
Yeah.
Whereas these children are so awake and beautiful, and I get very emotional when I speak to them, because when you speak with their soul, and when I go for walks and when they meet and they recognize, these children recognize, and that there's a book called Autism is the Next Future or something of that kind, I
yeah.
forgot, right? Not that I'm saying that they're different. Like Temple Grandin says in her book, I am different, not less.
Right.
Yes,
Right?
that's good.
Yes.
She
Yeah.
says that.
Yes.
That I am
Mhm.
different, not less. Just because you do not understand me does not mean that I do not have any substance to
Mhm.
share on this
That's
planet.
All right.
Because nothing on this planet is being wasted, supposed to be wasted,
Mhm.
to correct that, right?
Right.
So when everything comes over here, if we can have the humility, we could have the respect and kindness with what other people are supposed to be bringing here, and allow them with their space, this world would have such a wider spectrum than already what we have.
Do you think that we're moving towards that?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Because people
Yes.
are more open-minded,
Yes.
Yeah.
people are more receptive, and they saw that our old programs have not
work.
served us.
That's right.
Mhm.
As a matter of fact, we have been so subdued and so repressed. So now people are becoming more aware about, let's do this,
Mhm.
And what I love the most about is special aid children, they call it. I personally feel they are not special aid children. I feel they are specially gifted children.
Mhm. Sure.
Because these have such gorgeous gifts. If you allow them to grow, some could be more motor skill enhanced, some could be more visually enhanced, some could be more auditorially enhanced. Different aspects, right?
Yes.
Like we don't have 5 fingers same, right?
Right.
It's the same with humanity. And unless and until, that's what I tell my students, only carpenter cannot build a house. Only mason cannot build a house. We need a carpenter, mason, electrician, and
Right.
everybody we need. We build a house together. So it's when you put your fingers and fists together, that's when you have strength, right? So outcasting youth especially, and the younger children now, which is our future,
That's right.
Mhm.
right? If we do not give them respect and recognize the gifts what they are bringing to us, it's not going to help us. It's not going to help us. There is abundance on this planet, but the mindset of lack and scarcity has conditioned us to believe in lack mindset,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And people-
Whether it's intellect, whether it is physical,
Right.
or whether it is tangible. That is what I'm working with people, and I'm sorry, I'm very passionate
No,
about
it's lovely, and
Right.
we both are
Thank you.
Yeah,
right
we
there
got
with
it.
you.
Yeah.
So,
Thank
you know,
you.
we love to hear your perspective and sharing your knowledge on that. You have referred a couple of times to your students.
Mm.
Can you talk to me a little bit about that? Are you teaching groups? Are you what do you?
Deb and I, we know each other since long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have met
Yes.
also, right?
Yes.
So I have been working with different modalities.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I give individual sessions and group and workshops and special children.
Mhm.
I have soft corner for them as you
Yes.
just
Yeah,
saw.
that's she's really
It's
moving
because
into.
yeah, I feel gifted children are hardwired differently. Gifted children does not mean you just throw more academia for them. No. That's the reason when most of the schools having gifted programs,
Mhm.
when the
Right.
children are going over there, they come home so stressed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's because they are doing 5th grade math or 5th grade academics together. Nothing wrong with it because they have the capacity. But a child has to remain a child
Yes.
too. A
Yes.
child has to be allowed to play in mud,
Yeah.
play in the park, and just go fall on snowballs whenever it wants.
I own a summer camp for children. I
Oh,
don't-
lovely.
Yeah, so
Lovely.
yes, I could not.
Lovely.
And again, that's my belief in what I live, and for you to pull it together this way is just really
Thank
awesome
you.
to hear.
Yeah.
It's
Thank you,
beautiful.
thank you.
Yes,
I
yeah.
appreciate it. So
And
that's
more
why I
has
think
to be done.
Mhm.
with this.
more has to be done, and that's the way how I feel that
Mhm.
like when you're bringing over people like this, and we are creating we are all in servitude
Yes.
Mhm.
from our heart space. Okay, we all are in servitude. Yes, they say we have our human self also, but that's what I mean by multidimensionality. That we live in multidimension beings. Right now we all are in 5th plane and we are connecting with our heart coherence, right? We have frequencies running with everybody here in the room with us, and we all are in the same sync of like we all are coming from how could I bring more? How could I share more? How could I elevate more? Like
Right.
and
That's
that
what we want.
yeah, and that
That's-
will bring us the abundance.
And that's why the change is happening.
That is
because
the change
those who are
happening.
holding this light and holding this energy in this space and asking those questions, and now it is more and more. The light grows, and more people are in that space now. Just
Mhm.
how do I help? How to?
Right.
That is,
Yeah.
if I may say this, I had lost memory 4 years ago completely. Completely lost, and that could be another talk altogether.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
absolutely. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I could not read more than a paragraph. I could not speak with anybody, and that's the reason
Yeah.
why Deb was like reaching out like,
Yes.
what's wrong with
Because I would ask,
Yeah.
what's Reshma
Yeah.
doing? Where is she?
Yeah,
Yes.
and I had, for the last 5 years almost, I was completely out of touch with people. And very rarely, the only thing I remembered was how to drive, thank God.
Okay.
I remembered
That's
my
important.
son, yeah, that's important. And my son and a little bit of cooking. So I could survive.
Okay.
But if I would go to the store, I would not be able to speak to a person that I want to pay for this cucumber. So it was a very hard time
Yeah.
for me. But I would just sum it up in one sentence and say that it was a major transition
Yes.
of the uplift of DNA.
Yes. Beautiful.
And also there was a major transition going on when you are in certain vibrational frequency, and when there is a major changes going on with your DNA, because that is when the third electron started flowing in my sphere of existence. That is when you come out of duality and you come into trifecta.
Yeah.
So that you start coming out of duality, so you don't believe in good, bad,
Right.
or pretty, ugly. You become like everything is one. Compassion, law of compassion, and unconditioned love. So when that happened, I could not connect with anybody.
Right.
And I was like, you would call me lunatic. Like you would think that you're crazy.
No,
But
she's
we'll
crazy,
have a
yeah.
talk about that some other time
Okay.
maybe. So that helped me a lot to connect with a lot of different vibrational frequency. And that's how I connected with special age children. Because
Beautiful.
I was experiencing
Yes.
what they are experiencing.
And then everything came back. And you had a
Everything-
whole new modality.
Trust me,
Right.
Deb, I'm reading and speaking everything by memory.
Yeah.
I do not remember the phonetics, how we used to study, no.
Huh.
That's the reason why I need somebody's help to write my book,
Yes.
because I do not have the vocabulary.
Huh.
Like what I'm
Yeah.
speaking right now is
Right.
coming from memory, or it's coming from the divine guides, because I don't channel.
Yes.
So it's
Yeah, it's different.
It's an amazing story.
That's a whole nother.
Thank you.
An
Yeah.
amazing
Yeah.
transformation, and you, if possible, are more lovely than ever. And
Thank you.
What you shared with us was, I hope everyone listening really opened up to receive what you were saying, because on so many levels you just really gave a lot of knowledge and hope
Thank you.
Yeah.
and direction and guidance, and I think people should attend your workshops and look
Thank
to
you.
find
Yeah,
out more information
absolutely.
from you. And
Thank
how can they
Yeah.
do that? Let's
Well,
talk.
no. Is there any thing else that you want to
Just
tell?
one last
yeah.
thing
Yeah.
I want to say before
Yes.
we go.
Okay.
Believe in yourselves.
Mm.
You're way more powerful than what you have been conditioned to believe. Because
That's
there's
great.
nobody else who can heal you better than yourself.
Okay.
So trust
That's
yourself, love yourself, and uplift yourself.
That's beautiful.
You don't need another Reshma or anybody else.
Well, it helps though. It helps.
It helps.
So
We are here
but that
to
is
help.
that
But
is
you
great.
have it
Thank
within
you.
yourself.
Right.
So trust yourself and do it for yourself.
Right. And when's your next workshop? People want-
I'm teaching one on Sunday.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Yeah. With
anything
children.
planned in the
I'm
spring?
planning to go,
Summer?
yes, in spring.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
in
So
spring.
people can
Yeah, I
check
will
out.
come up.
Okay, great.
Go to
well,
my
thank
website
you.
and
Yeah.
there should be something over.
Okay, that'll be up in the
Thank you.
description. Thank you, Reshma.
Thank
That was
Appreciate it.
great. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll
Thank
see you next time.